Hello, Vaughn community. How you doing? It's Bill with the Vaughniverse. Or I should say, hello, Rob from Sound Strange. I'm here to enter your contest. 500 subscribers contest. Congratulations to you, Rob. I know I'm right up against the deadline here, but I didn't want to miss your contest because I just love your channel and I absolutely want to support you and your great channel. Rob is having his 500 subscribers contest. For those of you who don't know Rob, his link is down below. I highly recommend you go check him out because his knowledge is just off the charts. Well read. He talks about a variety of different things, but a lot of like modern classical. When he was first starting, he had this whole series of 20th century composers. Just really fascinating stuff because I don't know. I know next to nothing of that, and just listening to Rob speak, and this goes for any video that he does. I really feel like I'm getting an education. Rob, great guy, and I just love Rob's channel. So, Rob, this contest is pretty impossible unless you know Rob like the back of your hand. This is quite hard. There's two parts to this contest, and it is a true contest. It's we're getting scored here on these answers, and whoever comes out up top, I assume will be the winner. Although I think Rob said there's going to be multiple prizes, perhaps. But that's not important to me. As a matter of fact, if I do end up winning, which I know going into this that there's no way I'm going to come out on top for this one, but in the 0.0001% chance that I do, Rob, you know where to send that prize. Send it right over to Dave at Local Bandography. He needs a win one of these times. So yeah, I've given this a lot of thought, and I still feel like I'm not prepared because this is so hard. Now, like I said, there's two parts to this contest. The first part is show, and that is all about me, and then the second part is tell, and that's all about Rob. So there's 5 parts to each part. So I'm going to get started here. This may go a little long, just for a warning. But, yeah, let's just dive into this. Rob, congratulations again on the subscriber milestone. Well-deserved. In my opinion, you deserve to have millions of subscribers. Everyone in the world should be watching you and learning stuff. Okay, so number 1. Share record with a literary connection. I hope this counts. A lot of these, you're gonna see I'm going into my wheelhouse here. I'm not, I'm going into my wheelhouse. So, a literary connection. And the album is Tales from Topographic Oceans by Yes. This is Yes's double album from 1973, and it is 1 track per side, so there's 4 songs on here. Now, this album was inspired by an autobiography of a yogi by Paramahansa Yogananda. So, fascinating book. I haven't read this in a long time. It's been about 30 years. But I did read it long time ago. Like I said, 30 years. But this book, so the story goes, so yes, so Bill Bruford, the drummer, in Yes until 1972. Was in the band Yes with John Anderson, the singer. And Bill Bruford leaves Yes and joins King Crimson. And with Bill and King Crimson is a percussionist drummer named Jamie Muir. Bill Bruford gets married, and Jamie Muir and John Anderson are both at the wedding, and Jamie talks this book up to John Anderson. As a matter of fact, this book caused Jamie to leave King Crimson and become a monk, a Buddhist monk. So that's how inspired he was after reading this book. And he gave it to John Anderson and said, you need to read this. And it made a big impression on John Anderson as well. Not quite as huge of leaving the music industry and going to be a monk, but really impacted him. Now, it's not even the book that kind of inspires Tales from Topographic Oceans, but it's a footnote on page 100, at least in my copy, on page 104 here. Footnote down here, and I'm going to read what it says here. Pertaining to the Shastras, literally sacred books, comprising 4 classes of scripture: the Shruti, Smriti, Purana, and Tantra. These comprehensive treatises cover every aspect of religious and social life, and the fields of law, medicine, architecture, art, etc. The Shrutis are the directly heard or revealed scriptures, the Vedas. The Smritis, or remembered lore, were finally written down in remote past as the world's longest epic poems. The my eyes are fading here. The Mahabharata and the Ramayana Puranas, 18 in number, are literally ancient allegories. Tantras literally means rites or rituals. These treatises convey profound truths under a veil of detailed symbolism. Now, there were some important words in there for each one of those shantras. So, the Shruti had the word revealed scriptures. Now, the first track is called The Revealing Science of God, Dance of the Dawn. The Smriti, or is known remembered. The second track is called The Remembering, High the Memory. The Puranas, 18 in number, are literally ancient allegories. The third track is called The Ancient, Giants Under the Sun. And then Tantras literally means rites or rituals. And the final track is titled Ritual, Nous sommes du Soleil. So that's how this album came to fruition, through that little passage in An Autobiography of a Yogi by Paramahansa Yogananda. So this is a fascinating, powerful read. At some point I will be reading it again. It's been quite some time, but this one had made an impression on me a long time ago. You may have heard this. Well, you may recognize the face of Paramahansa Yogananda because he is also on the cover of Sgt. Pepper. Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, a record with an artistic connection. Okay, like I said, I'm going into my wheelhouse, and here is Peter Gabriel's Passion. This is the soundtrack to Martin Scorsese's film The Last Temptation of Christ. But the cover art, or the cover, the art on the cover is done by a man named Julian Grader. Now, in my research, I wrote down something here that I'm going to read, but I'll just hold this up while I'm reading it so you can admire the picture here. In 1989, Julian Grader finished an 8-part series of self-portraits, or as he referred to them, self-images, as he felt this was more psychologically penetrating terminology. Peter Gabriel selected one of these drawings for the cover of Passion. He felt that while the artwork had not specifically been commissioned and created to accompany the project, the drawing had a number of qualities that he felt resonated in a powerful way with the rich cultural fusion of the music's complex soundscape. The piece is titled Drawings Study for Self-Image 1987, and it's created using charcoal, graphite, paste, acrylic, bitumen, beeswax, dry pigment, straw, and flower petals on paper. So this drawing actually has texture to it. You can kind of, this is a flat print here, but if you look, you can see the dimension to it. So that's going to be my take for the second question. A record with an artistic connection. Hope that suffices. Okay, a record with a historical connection. Like I said, I'm sticking to my wheelhouse here. So here is Rick Wakeman and his album, The Six Wives of Henry VIII. Also recorded in 1972, released in 1973. So I think this, I think 1973 comes up a bunch here. So this album, great album by Rick Wakeman. This album has 6 tracks, and it's named for each of the 6 wives. Each track is named for each of the 6 wives. Catherine of Aragon, Anne Boleyn, Jane Seymour, Anne of Cleves, Catherine Howard, and Catherine Parr. 2 of those women were executed, Anne Boleyn and Catherine Howard. And let's see, I think a couple were divorced, and 1 or 2 died while being married to King Henry VIII. Terrific album. Okay. So next is a record not sung in English. I didn't want to resort to using this album here, but I did. Because I couldn't really figure out what else to use. But this is Serge Gainsbourg, Histoire de Melody Nilsson. And this is sung in French. So this came out in 1971. I know you have this, Rob. But wonderful album here. And it's not in English. So that should count. Okay, moving on to number 5. A record which taught you something. Now, I felt kind of that this was the hardest question of the first part of this contest. I ended up landing on this album. This is Gentle Giant, Octopus. Just an outstanding album by Gentle Giant, in my opinion. What I learned from listening to this album, and specifically the song Knots, 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 is that there's really no rules in music. Up until this point, I don't know how to phrase it. Up until this point, I just listened to the music, but never got or had it click of music. I don't want to say music structure. I actually don't know how to explain what I'm thinking, but when I heard the song Knots, it was like nothing I've ever heard before, and something in my head just kind of clicked saying, there's no rules here. You can do whatever you want. Now, I've heard like complicated music up to that point. Of course, albums like Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, Pet Sounds. I wasn't too far into experimental stuff at the point where I discovered this, but I guess the closest thing I was maybe King Crimson. But when I heard that song, it's so unique, and there's just these layered vocals and just powerful music, and it just really opened my eyes that if you're a musical artist, you can really do whatever you want. So maybe I'm not explaining it all that great, and maybe it's a little bit of a simple thing here, but it's honest. That's what I learned when I heard this album. There's no rules. And that completes part 1 of this contest. So show is done. Now on to tell. And in true transparency, I'm going to say that some of these answers may have been borrowed. I've stayed away from watching other entries up until today, and I saw Alan Static Traveler's video, and mostly for the last question, I thought, okay, I'll watch it because I don't know. So, if anyone's going to know, it's going to be Alan. So I did watch it, and then I was like, all right, well, I've already broken the seal, if you will. So I was watching several others. So I caught a couple more. But, not all these, not all of these are stolen answers. So this one, name my favorite film and another soundtrack I have from this same year. So I noticed a couple people put Papillon, the movie from 1973. So I don't know. That may very well be Rob's favorite movie. I don't know. I'm going to not use that, and I'm going to use this movie here, Mean Streets by Martin Scorsese, with Robert De Niro, Harvey Keitel. Really good movie. And my fingers are crossed that it's Rob's favorite movie. I'm guessing it's not. But that's going to be my guess, Mean Streets. So that was part of it. And then another soundtrack that I have from the same year. This is just a guess. This doesn't seem like an album that Rob would have, but I'm going to go with Jesus Christ Superstar soundtrack. This came out in 1973. Yeah, I'm just going to go with it. Jesus Christ Superstar. Jesus Christ was played by Ian Gillan from Deep Purple, Mary Magdalene, Zavon Elliman, Judas Iscariot, Murray Head. Yeah, I really like. It's been a while since I've listened to this, a few years, but I very much like the music for this. So, I don't know. Rob, do you have this? Okay, name 2 albums I have from the month and year I was born. So, I know you were born. I know what year you were born because of this.
I was born in 1974.
And I'm guessing you were born in September, and I feel like you mentioned that at some point. Right before your birthday or right after your birthday. I don't recall specifically, but so knowing that, I looked up albums that came out in September of 1974, and this was one, Frank Zappa and Mother's Roxy and Elsewhere. Now I know this has also been shown, but I did look it up, as well as this Gene Clark, No Other, and this was also shown. So because someone else showed it, I'm going with it too. Okay, next. The 2 composers of whom I have the most records of. Okay, one I think is right, the other is a guess. I know Rob is a fan of Stravinsky's The Rite of Spring, and he has mentioned in the past that he has... I don't recall what the number was, but maybe a dozen copies of it. Maybe it was even closer to 20. So that's who I'm going to go with here. For one is Stravinsky. This is the Firebird Suite Instrument Memorial album, his last recordings, but he's doing Stravinsky, the Firebird. The Instrument New Philharmonia. So Stravinsky, and this is the one I'm taking a stab at. The hint Rob gave is that the 2 composers both have the same letter in their name to start their name. So I'm going with Sibelius, Jean Sibelius, or Jean Sibelius. Yeah, this is This is Sibelius, Finlandia, Night Ride and Sunrise, Poholia's Daughter on Saga. So I'm going to take a stab at that, Sibelius. Okay, next. Which album was the main inspiration for starting to play guitar? Okay. This I know for certain because of this.
I'm talking about Bare Chance. This man is the reason why I started playing guitar, and this record especially.
So yeah, Bert Jansch, and his first album. This is the only Bert Jansch album that I own. LA Turnaround. I definitely need more, and will be adding more to my collection. So we're on to the final question, and it is: which artist wrote the 5 tunes and name the tunes of which Rob played in his contest announcement video? Pardon me. So I had no idea, and then so I watched Alan's video, and he says Paul Weller, and then I noticed other people were saying Paul Weller, so I'm going with Paul Weller. Now I don't know Paul Weller. I'm not very familiar with his music or the Jam for that matter. It's just not a band I got into, or him as a solo artist. I just someone I never got into. So I have no clue what the songs are, but Paul Weller is apparently who you were playing there. So I can't believe I've made it to the end. And that went quicker than I thought. Honestly, Rob, this was pretty fun. I had to really think and research for this contest. So, and sorry I waited till the last minute. It's not that I waited till the last minute. I just really haven't had the chance to actually do this. And as the deadline keeps creeping closer, I'm just like making a point to get this done. I mean, it's after midnight here on a Thursday night, so it's I'm pulling an all-nighter for you, Rob. I forgot to mention in the beginning of this video that I'm playing Kenny Dorham Whistle Stop. I know Rob is a big fan of this album, so I thought I'd play that in the background. Anyway, Rob, I hope you enjoyed this video. Congratulations once again. You truly do have a great channel, and I'm not lying when I say that it's an education watching you or listening to you talk about whatever it is you're talking about. So I know you've thought about not continuing making videos, but I hope you do. I hope you stick around, because I know I'm not alone when I say that I really enjoy you and your channel. So congratulations once again. Thanks for having the contest, as hard as it was. Everybody check out Rob's channel. Link is down below. And Rob, again, if I do happen to win, you know where to send or who to send the prize to. All right, everyone. Hope you're doing well. Take care, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye now.